Have you ever stopped to think, maybe you're still carrying around stuff that doesn't do you any good anymore? Over the years, our perspective on life naturally shifts. Back in the day, there were things that felt non-negotiable, like needing everyone's approval, keeping up with what's trending, or always staying busy just so you wouldn't feel unproductive. But after a while, those things stop feeling so important. They lose their shine. And once you hit 60, that shift becomes crystal clear. You start seeing life with a lot more simplicity and clarity. Habits you never questioned, relationships you tolerated, thoughts you used to believe, suddenly they stand out. And you ask yourself, do I really need this in my life? In this video, we're going to walk through 6 things that honestly have no place in your life anymore after 60. Some of them might sound familiar. Maybe you've already started letting go. Others might hit you by surprise, but in a good way. Either way, here's the deal. Letting go of what no longer serves, you frees up your time, your energy, and most importantly, your peace of mind. Because this chapter of your life isn't about proving anything. It's about figuring out what truly matters and giving that your full attention. Think about it. Do you really want to spend the best years of your life carrying stuff that just weighs you down? Probably not. So let's take a look at these 6 things together. Some might be tough to release at first, but once you do, you'll probably ask yourself, why didn't I do this years ago? All right, let's dive in. 1. Letting go of chasing trends. There was a time when keeping up with trends felt almost mandatory. Fashion, tech, lifestyle, it didn't matter what it was. If it was new and hot, you felt like you had to be on it. There was always that low-key pressure of not falling behind. You had to know it, wear it, use it, just to feel like you belonged. But once you're past 60, you start to see the game for what it really is, exhausting and pointless. Trends come and go like the wind. What everyone's talking about today, nobody even remembers it next week. And all that chasing, it eats up your time and drains your energy. Take fashion, for example. When you were younger, maybe you dressed a certain way just to fit in. You wore things you didn't even like because it felt like that's what you were supposed to do. But now, you know what works for you. You know what feels comfortable, what gives you confidence. You're not dressing to impress anymore. You're dressing for you. Who cares if your clothes match this season's color or if your shoes are trending? Your style is yours now. Timeless, unique. And honestly, that kind of confidence, that's real freedom. And tech? Same story. Every year there's some new device claiming to be faster, smarter, cooler. But let's be real. Does that new phone really do something your old one doesn't? Is your life missing something because you're not wearing the latest smartwatch? And how many of those apps you downloaded are just sitting there, untouched? At this point, technology should serve you, not the other way around. You don't need to download every update, chase every new feature, or swap out your perfectly fine gadgets just because something shinier came out. That's pressure you didn't ask for, and you don't need it. Then there's lifestyle trends. Diets, workouts, social media fads, it's a whole circus. One year they say, go plant-based. Next year, carbs are the enemy. Then it's all about protein. Walking's the best workout. Then it's high-intensity training. Everybody online has some new miracle routine. It's overwhelming, but the truth is, by now, you know your body. You know what fuels you, what drags you down, what keeps you feeling good. You've had enough life experience to understand that not every rule applies to you. And guess what? That's totally okay. So yeah, letting go of the need to follow. Trends is one of the most freeing things you can do after 60. You start living at your own pace, on your own terms. No more trying to keep up, no more stress about missing out. Because the best parts of life, they're not trendy. They're simple, real, and lasting. Letting go of trying to please everyone. Most of us spend a big chunk of our lives carrying this invisible pressure, the need to make everyone happy. Sometimes it comes from family, sometimes from friends, co-workers, or just society in general. From a young age, we're told things like, be nice, don't cause trouble, what will people say? So we learn to play it safe, say the right thing, blend in, avoid rocking the boat. But over time, that pressure drowns out your own voice. Then one day, usually around the time you hit 60, you have this wake-up call. You realize no matter how hard you try, you're never going to make everyone happy. There will always be someone with something to say. You shouldn't wear that. Aren't you too old for this? You still don't get it? The noise never stops, and that's when it hits you. Why am I trying so hard for approval I don't even need? When you really look back, you might notice that some of the big decisions in your life weren't even for you. Maybe you chose a career because it looked respectable, not because you loved it. Maybe you went to dinners and events you didn't care about just because you didn't want to seem rude. Or maybe you kept your distance from the things that truly lit you up, just because you were scared of what others might think. But now that fog is lifting, you start to see the truth. Other people's opinions don't live your life. You do. Most folks aren't even paying that much attention anyway. They're caught up in their own mess. And the ones who are watching, their opinions don't define you. You are not their judgment. After 60, your focus shifts. You stop chasing outside approval and start tuning into what feels right on the inside. It's not about what will they say anymore. It's how do I feel? You don't need to play roles for anyone. Living as your real, honest self, that's where real freedom begins. And here's the best part. Once you stop begging for validation, you start building something way stronger, self-respect. You do things because they feel right, not because you want applause. And you start surrounding yourself with people who love you for who you actually are, not for who they want you to be. The ones who only accept you when you fit their mold, you start letting them go. You start walking through life with a quiet kind of confidence that comes from being real. If you've spent years shaping your life around other people's expectations, maybe it's time to drop that weight. You don't need anyone's permission to live your life your way. The right people will be there for you. The rest, their opinions were never worth your energy anyway. Oh, and if you're still watching this and what we're saying resonates with you, drop a 2 in the comments so we know you're with us. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button and turn on the bell. Your support helps us keep making content that's honest, helpful, and real. All right, let's move on to the next one. Stop overloading your schedule. For most of our lives, being busy has been treated like a badge of honor. If your calendar's full, if you're always on the move, juggling a million responsibilities, people see you as productive, important, maybe even successful. And somewhere along the way, we started believing that if your schedule's empty, you're empty. That idea got drilled into us. But as you get older, especially after 60, you start to see the trap. Being constantly busy isn't always a good thing. In fact, more often than not, it wears you down. You fill your days with tasks, but at the end of it all, you're left wondering, what did I even do today that actually mattered? You start to realize that time isn't just space on a calendar. It's a precious one-way resource. Every time you say yes to something, you might be saying no to something that would have truly made you happy. And recognizing that, that's where a real shift begins. Back in the day, the mindset was, I need to do it all. Now it becomes, I don't have to do everything, and that's okay. You don't have to accept every invite. You don't have to say yes just because someone asked. And when you finally say no to something that doesn't sit right with you, you don't feel guilty. You feel peaceful. Because slowing down isn't laziness. It's wisdom. That realization changes how you live. You stop letting your days be controlled by other people's expectations and start building a life that actually reflects you. It's not about how much did I get done today? It's how did I feel today? Instead of getting lost in the noise, you lean into calm. Instead of constant company, you find meaning in quiet. Even solitude can feel healing when it comes with intention. And here's the magic part. You wake up and your day actually feels like yours. Not some never-ending to-do list, not a treadmill you can't get off, but a day shaped by your choices. When you step away from the rush, life starts showing up in small, beautiful ways. That first sip of coffee in silence, a walk with no destination, a conversation that actually goes somewhere. The little stuff becomes everything. If you've spent years measuring your worth by how many things you crammed into your day, maybe it's time to flip the script. Being busy isn't proof that you matter. What really counts is what you make time for and who you make it for. Clearing your schedule might just be the simplest, most powerful way to actually fill your life. 4. Letting go of toxic relationships. As you get older, one of the biggest truths you come to realize is this: not every relationship deserves a place in your life. When we're younger, we often feel like we have to keep certain people around, out of habit, out of guilt, or out of fear. What will people think? So we hold on, even when it's draining us. But with time, and especially after 60, you start to value your peace and your energy way more. And that means recognizing which relationships are actually lifting you up, and which ones are just weighing you down. Suddenly, you're faced with a choice. Do I really want to keep these people in my life? Toxic relationships aren't always obvious. Sometimes it's that so-called friend who only calls when they need something, or the relative who criticizes everything you do, or that one person you've known forever who just dumps negativity on you like it's their full-time job. And maybe for years you brushed it off, told yourself that's just how they are. But now, your patience is gone, and that's not a bad thing. That's growth. Because here's what you learn after 60. Real relationships don't drain you. They feed you. They don't make you feel guilty, anxious, or not good enough. And if someone keeps making you feel that way, keeping them around isn't a duty, it's a choice. And maybe it's time to make a different one. That whole, "but I've known them for so long" excuse, that's just another chain holding you back. By now, you've seen enough to know. There are two kinds of people: those who lift you higher and those who pull you down. And at this point in life, you deserve to be surrounded by the ones who help you rise. Cutting off toxic relationships isn't about anger or revenge. It's about self-respect. It's about choosing peace over conflict, quiet over chaos, emotional balance over endless drama. Some people won't get it. They might guilt trip you or make you feel like the bad guy. But the truth is, you don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing happiness. What you do owe is a better life to yourself, one that's filled with people who cheer for you, stand by you, and bring warmth into your days. Having people who laugh with you, show up when things get hard, and make your day better just by being there. That's one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself after 60. And the only way to make room for that? Let go of what no longer belongs. If any of this hit home and you're still with us, drop a 4 in the comments to let us know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do it now. Turn on the bell so you don't miss out. Your support helps us keep creating content that actually means something, all right? Let's move on to the next one. 5. Stop worrying about what everyone thinks. One of the heaviest weights we carry in life is the constant fear of what will people say? Maybe you've lived under that pressure for years, always watching your step, second-guessing your words, even judging your own reflection through someone else's eyes. The job you chose, the way you live, the people you love. How much of it was shaped by chasing approval? But as time goes on, and especially once you hit your 60s, you start realizing just how pointless all of that really is. You look back and see most of those thoughts that kept you up at night weren't even yours. They were planted there by other people's expectations. Here's the truth that never changes. People will always talk. No matter what you do, someone's going to have something to say. If you laugh too loud, they say you're immature. If you stay quiet, you're cold. Make a bold decision, half will clap, half will criticize. There's no version of you that'll please everyone. And honestly, why should there be? Trying to make everyone happy is a game you can never win. And after 60, You finally give yourself permission to stop playing, because now you know, life's not about meeting expectations. It's about protecting your peace. Think about it. How many laughs did you hold back just because you thought you'd look silly? How many dreams did you bury because you were afraid of being judged? How many moments passed you by while you were too busy wondering what others might think? It's time to take those moments back. Now, don't get it twisted. This isn't about ignoring everyone or becoming cold. It's about this: not giving someone else's opinion more power than your own happiness. The people who really love you, they'll love you, not the version of you that fits their mold. And those constant critics, the ones who always have something negative to say, their words were never really about you. They were just reflections of their own insecurity. Their mess, not yours. Letting go of this fear, that's one of the most freeing, powerful shifts you can make. You're no longer squeezing yourself into boxes that were never built for you. You make choices based on your truth, speak your mind without holding back, and live without constantly checking over your shoulder. And that's when something incredible happens. You tap into a kind of peace and confidence that's deeper than anything you've ever felt. Life starts to feel lighter, richer, and way more meaningful. So if you've spent years living according to someone else's standards, maybe now's the time to flip that script. Because this is your life, your pace, your rules, your path. No matter how loud the outside noise gets, you're the only one who gets to steer the wheel, and the sooner you own that, the sooner you'll start living with real freedom, where every day feels more peaceful, more intentional, and 100% yours. Rethinking the urge to keep buying and hoarding stuff. For so many years, we chased after more. Bigger houses, faster cars, fuller closets, fancier furniture. It always felt like the more you had, the better your life was supposed to be. The list of things to get never ended. There was always something new, something better. But as you get older, especially after 60, that mindset starts to shift. You begin to realize that more doesn't always mean better. In fact, sometimes the things you own start to own you. Instead of giving you freedom, they weigh you down. Look around for a second. How much stuff is surrounding you right now? And out of all that, how much do you actually use? How much of it is just collecting dust in some corner, taking up space? Maybe it made sense when you bought it. This will make me happy. It'll make the place look better. I might need it someday. But now, a lot of it might just be clutter, physically and mentally. As you get older, you start to realize something deep. Happiness doesn't come from branded clothes, expensive gadgets, or overflowing shelves. Real joy lives in laughter shared with people you care about, in memories that actually mean something, in real, honest connections. It's the moments you live that make your life rich, not the things you collect. That's why so many people feel this huge sense of relief when they finally let go of all the extra stuff. It's not just clearing out a closet. It's clearing space in your mind and your soul. Getting rid of what no longer serves you makes room for peace, for clarity, for life to flow better. And at this stage in life, it's not about piling up, it's about lightening up. There's another layer too. When you were younger, maybe you felt the pressure to impress people. The flashiest car, the trendiest outfit, the perfect house. It was all a way to show the world you were successful. But now, you don't owe anyone a performance. You know what you need, and that's more than enough. You're not chasing approval anymore. You're chasing peace, and that's real freedom. Maybe the biggest eye-opener is this. When life starts winding down, no one ever says, "Man, I wish I bought more stuff." What they really say is, "I wish I loved more. I wish I had more time. I wish I made more memories." That tells you everything you need to know. A shared meal, a deep laugh, a quiet, calm day. Those moments are worth way more than the latest flat screen or another pair of shoes. It's not the clutter that feeds your soul, it's the simplicity. So, if you've spent years piling things up, maybe now it's time to clear some space and really appreciate what you already have. Focus on what truly adds value, not in your eyes, but in your heart. Because once you stop collecting, you finally start seeing. And that might just be one of life's most powerful lessons. If you're still watching this video and this message, hit home, drop a 6 in the comments, and let us know you're here. And hey, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Your support keeps these meaningful conversations going. Final thoughts? Here we are, the end of the video. But honestly, this might just be the beginning of something new for you. We've walked through 6 things that after 60 just don't deserve space in your life anymore. Let's do a quick recap. Chasing trends, always needing approval, overloading your schedule, holding on to toxic relationships, living for what others think, hoarding stuff you don't need. These habits, whether you realize it or not, take up space, not just in your home, but in your mind and your heart. But once you start letting them go, something shifts. You begin to see clearly what truly belongs in your life, what actually matters. Because this chapter of life, it's not about meeting everyone else's expectations anymore. It's about finding what brings you peace, and finally giving yourself permission to fully embrace it. This is the age where freedom gets deeper, simplicity becomes true richness, and saying, "This is me," becomes your superpower. Whatever's just taking up space and no longer serving you, it's time to let it go. And when you do, you'll feel lighter. Life becomes clearer, more honest, more meaningful. What's left behind becomes more valuable. Your time, your relationships, and most of all, the way you connect with yourself, they all grow deeper. So now, be real with yourself. Ask these 3 questions. Which of these 6 things are you finally ready to say goodbye to? Which ones have you already let go without even noticing? And which ones are still hanging around, weighing you down, quietly taking up space? Maybe you'll start with clearing out a closet. Maybe you'll set new boundaries with people in your life. Or maybe you'll just finally say, "This is my life," and really start listening to your own voice. Because sometimes the biggest shift starts with one small moment of awareness. And don't forget this. The best years of your life, they're not behind you. They're right ahead, waiting for you, wide open. You just have to be brave enough to step into them. Thanks for spending time with us today. Really, your comments aren't just feedback to us. They're a way to connect, to build something real. So drop something below. A thought that stuck with you, a sentence that hit home, or a change you're ready to make in your life. We'd love to hear it. If this video spoke to you, even just a little, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need to hear it. Your support is what helps us keep creating these honest, heart-driven videos that actually mean something. Take care of yourself, and we'll catch you in the next one.